que está el evento este nuevo. Bueno, vamos a hacerlo, a ver qué tal. La fuga de Hanu. O Anu, no sé cómo será. Bueno, esto no sé si tengo que hacer la misión previa antes. Ok, sí, la fuga de Hanu, acá. Tuki, misiones de aventuras. Ok, bueno, vamos para acá. Vamos a ver qué onda. Y nada. A ver qué es lo que tenemos que hacer. Porque igualmente esto es lo que hicimos en el último coso. No sé si voy a subir esto, pero bueno, si subo esto, en todo caso hay que hacer la misión principal para completar todo esto. Así que en resumidas cuentas ya lo tenemos hecho. Spoilers, como siempre digo. En todo caso van a estar ahí en la descripción. Pero bueno, vamos a ver qué tal. De qué va el evento. No sé si será directamente usar al bichito este raro que usamos durante la misión principal. Pero bueno, vamos hacia acá directamente. Usamos el punto y estamos acá con el doctor este raro. El ojo este gigante en resumidas cuentas. Y bueno, si quiere cargar también el juego. Que igual tenemos que ir a la zona nueva, así que nada. Ok, no cambié nada del equipo también. Vale la pena mencionar eso, que no cambiamos nada. Ok, doctor Edward. A ver. Así que es como suele asociar a tus clientes. ¿Cuánto tiempo se ve ese ojazo? Medio raro decir esto, pero bueno. Vamos a tocar acá. Ok. ¿Y esto qué sería? O sea, sería un combate básicamente. Burbuja de ensueño de Cisne Negro. Ok. Vamos a desafiar. ¿Y qué nos dan? Ok, nos dan a Cisne Negro de prueba. Bien. Ok. Creo que voy a hacer el equipo de siempre, pero reemplazando acá mi compañero el doctor Latio. Bueno, soy imbécil porque puse por ahí a la esta. Y acá voy a poner a Arban May. Iba a poner a Bronia, que es lo mismo, igual, no pasa nada. Ok. A ver, acá, ¿qué es lo que tenemos que hacer? ¿Qué hay que hacer? Hay que combatir, hay que hacer algo, no lo sé. Ok.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Ok.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. The people of
Tiene
Penacony
voz
could never
esto.
come to any harm while under the watchful
No
protection
sé,
of
como
the
que no estoy
family.
muy acostumbrado a que las misiones tengan voz.
In a dream, even if you're bashed
Lo
a
digo porque
thousand
juega el
times
Engine
with a
Impact.
hammer.
Así que
At worst, you'll
no sé
still
si
wake up
será
in reality in a
súper
hotel.
relevante o no, por eso lo digo, qué sé yo.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
You're not wrong. Even if there are no
A ver,
casualties.
si es nivel 58, espero que el equipo que tengo me sirva para hacer esto. Además, dentro de lo que cabe,
This is not the kind of thing that
los
happens
dos
in Penacony.
personajes buenos y el que me sirve más o menos como a
You are
completar.
guests at the
Es gracioso
Aventurino,
porque a fin de
so
cuentas el
you may
DPS es el que
investigate
lo
the
tengo
crime
más
scene.
flojo. O sea, vaya a elegir
Stand by over
a
here.
Arlatio o vaya a elegir a la King Kue. Son los personajes que menos tengo ahí de lo que es el equipo armado. A ver.
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
El poder del guión. Decir la verdad, no dar explicaciones.
Just
O sea,
some
estamos controlando al Cisne Negro
suggestions at the memory
básicamente, en
level.
resumidas cuentas, en esto.
If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. If we had a little more time, I could have even convinced her I was Shipe the Harmony.
Ok.
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your
De
companion,
nuestro
shall we?
acompañante. ¿Cómo sería eso?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time.
O sea, este no es el Sampo. No, o sea, no es Sampo, básicamente. Es la esta disfrazada, básicamente, ¿no?
You
Imagino.
followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Idling Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you, Nero Timon. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you
Podremos
can
hablar,
solve
ok.
it, then we can talk. Don't leave me waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned
Estoy tan confundido que ya
she was
creo que ya
talking
llega un
about
punto en que
wanton
por
slaughter
mucho
on
que
the
vea cosas ya
streets
no
of
sé ni qué pasa, así
Penacony.
que simplemente disimulo y digo, ok, a ver cómo avanza esto y ya está. Creo que es el gran resumen de lo que está pasando acá en Colonipenal, básicamente.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big
Okay.
shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Anda.
Seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
Bueno. Ok, a ver. Agente alguacil. Duelo enmascarado. Pregúntale al miembro de la familia sobre el caso. Ok, estamos haciendo ya el imagino. Bueno, no me deja abrir acá, pero bueno. Estamos haciendo esto ya. A ver. Agente alguacil. Un poco raro esto, ¿no? Vamos a preguntar acá. Miembro de la familia de Sabueso.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Respecto a la víctima.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari, and suddenly assaulted him with a hammer. Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle. Her best asset is transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
Acerca de la compañía de bolsos sueños que estaba presente en la escena del crimen.
Who are those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Respecto a las evidencias en la escena del crimen.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet.
Me hace gracia porque tiene un cinturón tipo por acá, por arriba del velo. O sea, como nada que ver porque tiene un cinturón ahí. No sé.
The weapon with them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us.
O sea, este de acá. O sea, porque tenés un cinturón ahí. Podemos ponernos en contacto con la víctima.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape. Best not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Ok. Bueno, mira, acá tenemos uno de estos. Que imagino que tendremos que venir luego por ahí. A ver.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Mr. Cold Feet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all.
Esto es muy
Miss
poco
Black
serio, la verdad.
Swan,
O sea,
they're heading straight for you.
no sé.
Don't interrupt, I was
Como que no tienen nada que ver
Ahem.
a lo que
I
ocurre. No sé.
understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of this Sparkle murder case.
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer? Is that her real surname?
Never heard of it.
¿Por qué
Sounds
traducen el
made up.
apellido?
Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body. Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot.
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on. Wait.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
Por mucho que le busco la seriedad la lógica, esto no lo tiene nada, pero bueno.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me.
Ok. Vamos a preguntarle por los sospechosos. A ver.
Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be. Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town. Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left
Todo muy
on,
X de esos nombres,
right?
apodos, motes,
Is
como
this
le quieran
some kind of
decir.
joke?
What? Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me?
Got it.
O sea,
But it sounds like Mr. Assistant Detective has his own misgivings.
Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiant. Then
Ok.
there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward.
este tiene el torturado y este no tiene piernas.
That's all
Ok.
the intel we have on the
Vale, le rompieron las piernas. No necesariamente no tiene piernas. Resumen del caso. Y acá tenemos la evidencia. Ajá.
Look, an ID card. Talent Motivation Department Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape.
Ok. Y este es el mazo.
Holy moly!
Oh.
This hammer is super heavy. This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case.
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target.
Ok. Revisa las pistas que
Is that all
tiene
the
hasta ahora.
evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle. But there are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
No, no. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then.
Ok.
Mr.
Creo
Assistant
que ahora nos tenemos que
Detective,
transformar
this
en
way.
el cosito este ahora. En el Hunu. O el Hanu, perdón. No lo sé. Efectivamente. Tuki. Y ahora por acá. Entramos. Para acá. Lo que es.
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks
Sí,
like a little
parece
button.
un botón extraño.
Don't push it, Lady Blackswan. Whatever you do, don't push it! That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle
No tiene nada de sentido esto, la verdad. Sinceramente.
Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This
Ajá.
is nuts.
Ok. A seguir buscando pruebas. Por acá podemos pasar. Acá tenemos que romper esto, así que vamos a hacer así. Volvemos a nuestro cuerpo. Tenemos que romper esto. No sé si por acá hay algo más que romper. No. Ok. Y con eso al otro ya podemos nuevamente transformarnos. Y pasar por acá, ahora sí. Ok. Y acá tenemos uno de estos rompecabezas extraños. ¿Lo podemos hacer acá? Sí, lo podemos hacer. Ahí tenemos un enemigo. Ok. Esto. Esto por acá. Este por acá. Y básicamente así. ¿Cómo está? Ahí va. ¿Esto qué es? No fue completado. Perdón. Buenas.
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
Claro.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a
Claro, cuando la pista más útil y es Pom Pom el asesino, no tendrá ningún tipo de sentido, pero bueno, qué sé yo. Para que no buscarle nada de sentido a lo que es esta misión, como le quieran decir, no sé.
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
Muñeco de Pom Pom. Teletransportarse. No. ¿Acá que podemos pelear? No, no suena nada genial cuando dice ese momento del lado sobre lo oscuro. Ok. Habría que buscar una de estas que no hay. O sea que lo que imagino que hay que hacer es pasar para acá. Teletransportamos así. Ah, y esto lo tenemos encima. Empujar. Pumba. Adiós. Ok. Acá. Bien. Ah, tengo que llegar hasta allá. O sea que... no tendría que haber bajado, ¿verdad? Ah, no, tengo que... No. Sí, tengo que bajar. Tengo que ir al de acá. Ok. Tengo que ir al de acá. Acá sí puedo hacer esto. Y de acá pasamos para acá. ¿Y acá qué hay?
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
Relatar los crímenes. Ah. Sistema de reconocimiento facial. Ok, lo que nos hablaba Sampo antes. Estas normas tienen la validez para toda la eternidad. Ok.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
This is so her style, isn't it?
Bueno.
Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Ok. Aparecemos de la nada. No sé si esto carga o qué le pasa. También. Ahí va. Me parece haber ocurrido algo. Ahora cuando me crashea el juego y yo... Ah, bueno, buenísimo. Genial, 10 puntos, increíble. No sé. Le cuesta el juego. No sé si salir, no sé qué hago. Por favor. Lo posible. Hay como ruidos, pero no. Ahí está, volvimos.
This evidence. I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Wright has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me.
Ok. Descubre la respuesta del acertijo. A ver.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right?
Sí. Esto, no sé.
Oh, is that so? Oh, is
O sea,
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe.
ok, sí.
If that's the case, then he couldn't have made
Claro.
it through the Goldhammer residence's facial recognition system. That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
Perfecto. Ok, o sea, ya pensé que nos íbamos a quedar solo con coso. Ok, pará. No pensé esto. Me imagino que Zurlo no puede ser porque la cosa esta pesa un montón. No para agarrarla.
who exactly is Lefton? That guy.
Por eso, esto entonces acá.
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he
Un
had
poco
to learn
random,
how
¿no?
to
Pero
live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant
es muy
sledgehammer
XD
to murder someone.
que haya pensado que no es el
That must
coso.
be
O sea,
hard for him.
que descarté primero el que
Probably
tenía mal el
impossible.
rostro. Pero bueno, no sé.
Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer.
O sea, yo pensé que Uso había como que argumentar
Let's tell the
qué es
constable
que
our
había pasado,
answer
¿no?
and see what he thinks.
O sea, sí. Ok. A ver.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
The murderer is right.
Beep! You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind
No, la verdad que
of
no.
a masked
De
fool?
hecho, esto es muy XD, la verdad.
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family.
Ok. Bueno, no sé si puedo seguir hablando acá. Ok. Aquí. Bueno, a ver, para acá.
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some
No hay nadie nuevamente
interesting
por acá.
memories.
Un poco como lo que pasaba en la parte esta de la historia.
Become part of the family. Raise a glass and enjoy feasts fit for a king.
¿Y estos?
Whoa, this place is a complete mess. And those two weirdos are probably here too.
Comisaria, subcomisaria.
There's nobody else at the scene. Seems like Miss Sparkle used the same method to send dreamers back
Gracioso
to
el
reality.
cinturón que tiene así de la nada, no sé.
Let's talk to those two there then.
A ver.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo! You finally made it!
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
No sé. Aquí está.
Why are you talking like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's backyard.
Ajá.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Her again?
De nuevo.
Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt. Ahem. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out.
Ok.
After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Papashi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named
Derecho
John
nuevamente.
and a wealthy Intellitron
Ah,
trader called
Ok.
Lefton.
Son los mismos tiempos. Poca originalidad para el buen
Our old
nombres.
friends.
Claro.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these 3, and they were not working in cahoots.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is. Let me introduce the identities of these suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist,
Ok.
which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get
O
pretty
sea-
salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her. Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her. That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
A ver, sí, por favor. Me gustaría escuchar la información sobre los sospechosos otra vez.
Sorry to interrupt your dreamscape experience, Sir Trailblazer.
Ok.
That
Perfecto.
segment doesn't seem to be in this dream bubble. But don't worry. I'll replay the rabbits for you.
First of all is the shopkeeper, Wright. He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him.
Ok.
He can get pretty salty about it. Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants
Okay.
Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan.
Ok, perfecto. Entendido. Resumen del caso número 2. Acá que tenemos
And
las
there's the
evidencias. La
tie.
corbata.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
La podrían haber ahorcado con la
Tablet
corbata.
reads, only for Imperial Master Lefton. Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
That's not how you use the word imperial.
Ok. Corbata de zurdo. Y acá tenemos
There's an
esto.
accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
Ajá.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Bien. Y acá es donde tenemos que hacer esto como para entrar ahí abajo. Bueno, primero revisamos las pruebas, que tenemos las pistas.
It's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Así es.
Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. What?
También. Ok, acá. Transformamos en Hano. Entramos acá. Bien. ¿Qué tenemos por acá? Parece que están altas las cosas estas igual, ¿no? No, ok. Complicado subir. Escaleras imposible, en resumidas cuentas. Vamos a pasar por acá, sí. Acá podemos volar nuestro cuerpo. Y ahora sí podemos subir escaleras. Acá tenemos algo igual. Investigar.
A little stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this person's drawing skills are extraordinary.
Ok. Por acá tenemos esto si nos queremos transformar. Igualmente no. Queremos subir por acá. Investigamos acá.
What's that smell?
Un pez.
Why is there a smoked red herring there?
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine.
Nos falta una prueba. Está allá arriba, que imagino que tengo que venir de acá, ¿no? Porque acá está el esta. Así que nada, nos vamos a transformar acá. Nuevamente. Ok, y con esto... Ah, no, subimos para acá. Ah, igualmente. Es así, porque acá tenemos que venir acá. Ok. Y de acá a acá. Muy bien, acá está la última prueba. Acá hay algo. No. Ok, acá. Reparamos esto.
Clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
Ok. Uno de estos. Así. Muy bien. Ah, ok. Perfecto. No hubo muchas complicaciones para este puzzle. Despertar.
So there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Ok.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. Zhongshan family heirloom.
Ok.
That should be it. Let's head out.
Bien. La verdad que tengo menos idea ahora mismo. No sé si vamos a hacer la Scarlet
I have to
nuevamente o
thank
qué.
you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle
Bastante,
this
la
time
verdad.
is pretty strange.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
Vamos a hablar con la comisaria. A ver.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. Was that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer? And what...
No compartir la identidad del asesino. Ok. ¿Qué pasa si no compartimos la identidad del asesino? Pregunto en serio. Me hace gracia.
In my opinion, there is no murderer for this case.
Ok.
What do you mean by that?
Y ahora es esto. Si es esto, sería la broma.
It doesn't. Looks like Miss Sparkle is more careful than I thought.
Ok. Esto.
This stool is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right. That's the one. Miss Sparkle's business failed, and she was on the brink of bankruptcy. As she passed by her regular fashion store, she ran into her old nemesis, the bullying shopkeeper from the store, and the gambler whose life she'd ruined. And those three all looked happier than her. Miss Sparkle's ego wouldn't allow that to happen. And so she stole Lefton's tie, placed Zhongshan's ring in her mouth, stepped up onto the stool, and hanged herself from a beam in right shot.
Ajá.
And her motive was
Un
to try
poco
and
mega
frame all
rebuscado.
three of them.
Justamente porque se quitó la vida, pero bueno, es super XD, ¿no?
What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the three suspects would all be
Es
facing
algo que no
grave
tiene ningún
injustice.
tipo de sentido. Ok.
Is something wrong here? This is too easy.
Es un
The
caso
first
que no
case
tiene
wasn't
sentido.
hard,
Alguno,
but this
básicamente.
one,
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means, this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
No sé.
Sheriff, the murderer is right. The evidence is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
No tiene ningún tipo de sentido.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
I take it so seriously. Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience. Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Ah, ok. Está bien, ya cumplieron su función básicamente.
Detective Black Swan, would you like to hear about the other answers that you didn't guess?
A ver.
Why, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
El asesino zurdo.
Lefton is a wealthy merchant who has been competing with...
Y bueno, entonces la cosa era esta.
This tie is a piece of...
That's right, this tie belongs to Lefton's
Okay.
caught a tragedy.
Asesino Jong-san. Esto.
This ring is a piece...
That's right, what's what a penniless he'd
Okay.
stolen like... Who could have known? Caught a tragedy. Right,
Derecho.
Mr.
Esto.
This stool.
That's right. Miss Sparkle always taken advantage of it. Miss Sparkle never thought he then said
Perfecto.
caught a tragedy.
No hay un
What
asesino.
do you mean?
Esto.
Nothing.
Don't go too far. What do you mean?
Bueno, esto es nuevamente el taburete.
This
Esta.
stool is...
That's right. Miss Sparkle's business. And those three. And so
Básicamente.
I'd
¿Verdad?
rather not play around.
A ver su comisaria. Algo que agregar.
Excuse me?
Its work is done and it's taking...
But I prefer the...
No.
Ok. Ok. Bueno.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a
No sé.
cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Mira, ahí está el
Truly, Miss
coso.
Sparkle is a fascinating person.
Pájaro este raro.
She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or a child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon.
Ok.
This time,
Imagino que en
we're
todo caso
going
esta será la última. Ok. A ver por acá.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony. And next to me here is my assistant
Okay.
detective.
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
As expected, another change in setting.
Ok.
Yesterday,
Un
my
poco que sea igual la,
assistant
la
visited the
diversión, o
famous
sea,
Miss
como que
Sparkle,
medio... Ah,
and we stayed
no
the
sé.
night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her
Nuevamente
bedroom.
Sparkle. Ahí tenemos nuevamente la víctima. Imagino que los asesinos, los posibles culpables sean zurdo, Zhong-Xiang y derecho también. Ok. La puerta estaba cerrada por dentro. Ok. Y había muerto en la habitación, básicamente, imagino.
I knew something must have happened. So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside.
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow.
Lleva tiempo muerta.
One look told me she'd been
Okay.
dead for some time.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever.
Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime
Aha.
scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me?
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No,
cheating!
Ok.
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective.
No, it's... This locked room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up, wait up. Miss Sparkle has one final
A
message
ver.
to announce.
Oigamos.
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows
El
that the
desafío del público.
most fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Ok. Esto lo podemos... Esto igual lo podemos hacer, ¿o no? Ah, ok. Ah, no lo podemos hacer. Ok. Mira, acá está justo las cosas estas de sacar los puntos, todo eso. No sé.
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more...
No, falta de información, igual más que no yo para comprar el caso anterior, o sea, también podríamos especular, pero bueno. Ok. Hacia el escondite. Para acá. Ok. Ya tenemos uno de estos puntos raros. Muy bien.
There's no weird, sweet dreams troop. Nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. What's that thing?
Okay.
Bella Boggian trash can?
Hey, dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it. I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then. This is the final question. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear. Give me your answer then.
Ser el ser humano creo que es medio... ¿Cómo decirlo? Quiero igual a ver... Quiero ver qué me dicen.
Classic puzzle. The answer is people, right?
Wah, wah. Wrong answer. How could it be as boring as that? The correct answer is... Sparkle! When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle. So naturally she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber jabber?
Ok.
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear. But
Ok,
you
sí,
can't try to
parece
fool
que
me, seeing
ninguna
as
era
you just tried to cheat.
claramente la respuesta correcta.
Wrong answer.
A pelear, ok. A ver. Tengo que pelear con el cubo de basura, ¿no? Yes.
What do you want to know?
Ah, lo podemos simular.
Ill fate descends. Lend me your strength.
Bueno,
To guard and defend. Crush them.
¿por qué no?
Ill tidings manifest.
Existence is unity. Nap time.
Tuki.
Ill fate descends.
That's better.
Ok. Bien.
Will be swept away
Gracioso.
by the wind.
Que justo mate a Coso. Súper esto. Ahora cuando aparece Cisne Negro ahí todo en el piso.
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere. Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Algo.
Miss, you killed Sparkle. How is this possible?
Okay.
How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection? What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams.
Ok.
Only the Remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her. Oh, I understand. You refused to
Ahora
let
sí
me go
podría
because
ser
you wanted to drag
la
me into
cosa de
all
que
of
mataron a
this.
Sparkle de verdad.
If I don't
Y ahora
agree,
todo esto donde empezamos de vuelta,
let up.
¿viste? Nuevamente
Just like she
una
did.
investigación muy rara.
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the
La muerte no
promise of
existe
the
en los sueños de
family and the
Colonipenal.
blessing of the
Ojo.
harmony.
Ojo.
Not even a memo
Cuidado.
can break this barrier.
Cuidado, puede ser que esto nos esté dando información de lo que está pasando en la historia real, digamos, se puede decir así.
There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
Oye, a Sampo.
You.
Claro, sí.
Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you, Mr. Sampo?
Sí.
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence. Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder? I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide.
A ver, para acá me perdí. La habitación solo me pidió que todos los testigos vean el cuerpo. Dentro de una zona de cría, que puede ser terminado de jugar por la zona no parecía ser un suicidio falso. Ok.
That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him. And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. Which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a...
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer.
A ver, oigo.
Would you?
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
What a pity, such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body. Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo then?
Buena pregunta.
Beautiful lady, I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have at
Ahora es cuando
least.
Cisne Negro a veces dice, no, no, yo soy realmente Sparkle, y dice Sparkle.
Take a memories,
Ya, son todos
and
Sparkle.
I get joy.
No sé.
We get what we need from each other. Seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
Ah, ok, sí.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before,
Ok, ahí está,
a
perdón.
memo keeper can't
Ah,
help
no
you.
sé, no
It's frankly above my
pasó
pay
nada igual.
grade.
Tranqui.
Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try to catch 2 fish with 1 cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
sea, no, imagino que quizás se refiere a mí, no lo sé. O a quién, no sé. A ver. Súper raro. O sea, todo lo que está pasando acá es una cosa más rara que la otra. O sea, qué sé yo.
What a special dream this has been. And did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape is as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
Ok, o sea... No sé.
That's the end of Miss Black Swan's dream bubble. Are you satisfied with your experience?
Sampo resultó ser...
I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Penacony, dreams can be processed, or even tampered with. Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape. If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality. Sweet dreams.
Yeah.
Really? I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed. Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements? Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, third barrel on the left.
No digas que me
You
viste.
never saw me. But Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6. Am I right?
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense.
Ok.
Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sampo can stand by. Go tell Giovanni I said hi.
Y ahí se va nuestro compa
Fine,
Sampo.
I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously. Why so serious?
Ok. Super random todo, literal. Recibo un mensaje. Sí. Por supuesto. Creo que la cagamos. Puede ser que no sea Cisne Negro igual, ¿eh? Para. El usuario no existe. Ok. Wow. Ok. La cagamos, básicamente, ¿no? Bueno. Déjame para arriba. Necesito más, a ver. ¿Cuánta información no puedo dar? Tienes razón igual. Hablamos después. Bueno, muy raro esto. Muy raro, sinceramente. Nada. Estuvo gracioso, estuvo interesante. Estuvo bueno. No sé qué decir. Súper rara igualmente lo que es la cosa, pero bueno. Lo que hay un poco, básicamente. Pero bueno. Nada, bueno, vamos a ver qué onda ahora, porque no sé, o sea, imagino que esto es fin de cuentas, no sé qué pasará igual también con el mensaje que respondí, pero bueno. Nada, qué sé yo.